You've probably been scrolling, drowning yourself in motivational videos, reading quotes, and wondering, why the hell am I still stuck in my own head? Well, congratulations. You found the place where we cut through all that fluff. Here, we're talking about real strategies to stop overthinking, get out of your own way, and start living like the alpha you were born to be. No toxic positivity, no kumbaya nonsense. This is about taking control of that overactive mind of yours and reprogramming it to work for you, not against you. Sound good? Cool. Let's dive in and break this down piece by piece, starting with why your mind is your biggest obstacle and how to stop it from being your worst enemy, or why you're stuck in your own head. Let's start with the obvious. You're your own worst enemy. Overthinking? Check. Living in your head? Double check. And somehow, despite all those self-help videos and inspirational quotes, you're still spiraling in the same toxic loop. Why? Because consuming all that positivity without applying it is like watching workout videos and expecting six-pack abs to magically appear. Here's the truth. Your brain is wired to notice the negative, thanks evolution. It's a survival mechanism. Your mind loves to replay that embarrassing thing you said 2 years ago, but it conveniently forgets how you crushed your presentation last week. Overthinking feeds this cycle, making you feel like you're falling behind and can't keep up with the world around you. But here's a secret, your thoughts aren't facts. That voice in your head saying you're too slow, too dumb, too unworthy, it's lying to you. One Redditor nailed it when they said, understand your thoughts and feelings are not always reality. Observe them, say hello, and let them go. Translation, stop believing everything your brain spits out. You don't need to fix every thought or solve every worry. You just need to start recognizing that they're not the boss of you. Once you get that, you're ready to move on to the next step. Why positivity feels like a scam. Let's address the elephant in the room. Positivity often feels like a joke. You've watched the motivational videos, you've read the life-changing quotes, and still you feel like crap. Why? Because positivity isn't something you just consume, it's something you practice. One Redditor put it perfectly, happiness is not a destination, it's a process. Think about it. You don't arrive at Happy Town and stay there forever. It's more like swimming, you're either staying afloat or you're sinking. The catch is most of us are dog paddling in circles, wondering why we're not moving forward. The other issue, you're probably forcing positivity, and that's toxic. It's like putting glitter on a dumpster fire and pretending it's a carnival. You can't just slap on a fake smile and expect to feel better. As one user pointed out, the key isn't forcing positivity, it's about learning to process the negative emotions first. Here's the kicker, you can't think your way out of negative feelings. You have to feel them. Sit with the discomfort, acknowledge it, and then let it go. One user summed it up with brutal honesty. Ask for all the negativity to uncover itself, accept it, feel it, get through it. That's how you make room for the good stuff. Positivity isn't about ignoring the bad, it's about finding balance. Acknowledge the mess, and then shift your focus to something better. That's where gratitude, humor, and mindfulness come into play. Gratitude and why it's your secret weapon. All right, let's get into gratitude because this one's a game changer. Think of gratitude as your mental crowbar. It's simple, powerful, and it pries open the rusted, negative mindset you've been stuck in. One Reddit user explained it best. Gratitude rewires your brain. It forces you to shift from everything sucks to, wow, maybe things aren't so bad. Here's how you do it. Start small. List 10 things you're grateful for every morning or before bed. No need for grand epiphanies, your coffee tasted amazing, or write it down, you didn't trip on your way to work, that's another win. Over time, these small acknowledgments add up, and your brain starts looking for more good things on its own. One user described how they transformed their mindset by focusing on abundance. Instead of seeing a normal meal, they saw a hearty feast. Instead of just another day, they saw an opportunity. This shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundant one changes how you perceive the world and yourself. The best part? Gratitude isn't just mental. It spills into everything else. Your mood improves, your interactions get better, and suddenly life feels a little less like a grind. But here's the thing, it's not automatic. Gratitude is a habit, and habits require discipline. Skip the fluff, just start. The results will speak for themselves. Mindfulness, stop living in the past and future. Let's be real, your mind loves dragging you through a time machine. 1 minute, you're reliving that argument from 2 years ago, and the next, you're spiraling about the future. Here's the problem. The past is reconstructed memory, and the future, it's pure fantasy. Neither one is real, yet they're stealing your present. This is where mindfulness steps in. Mindfulness is about anchoring yourself in the now. One Redditor described it perfectly. The present has basically no worries at all. And if they do exist, you can handle them because they're happening right now. How do you get there? Our simple techniques start by noticing your environment. Pick out 10 things you can see, hear, or feel. This snaps you out of your overthinking loop. When a negative thought barges in, acknowledge it. Say, oh, hey, frustration, and then let it go. You don't need to wrestle with it. And here's a pro tip. Combine mindfulness with humor. One user shared how imagining funny scenarios or watching comedy help them stay grounded and upbeat. Mindfulness doesn't have to be all serious Zen vibes. It can be lighthearted and practical. The goal isn't to silence your thoughts, but to observe them without judgment. Once you stop giving your thoughts so much power, they lose their grip on you. Self-talk, be your own coach, not your worst critic. Let's talk about the voice in your head, the one that loves to remind you of every mistake you've ever made. That voice? It's an untrained brat. But here's the good news. You can reprogram it. One Reddit user had a genius hack for this. Create a mind coach. Picture this. Your personal inner coach, like a cartoon red panda in a whistle and sweatshirt, yelling negative thoughts and a 5-yard penalty. Every time your brain starts spiraling. It's ridiculous, but that's the point. The absurdity makes it stick. Another approach is using short, powerful mantras. One user shared their go-to, choose freedom. It's simple, direct, and shuts down negative thought loops like a mental fire extinguisher. Followed up with another mantra, create space. This reminds you to clear out the negativity and make room for something better, whether it's productive action, creative ideas, or just a moment of peace. And then there's reparenting. Yes, it sounds therapy-ish, but hear me out. Treat yourself the way you'd comfort a stressed out kid, or say things like, it's okay to feel this way, you're doing your best. This shifts your inner dialogue from constant criticism to actual support. The key is consistency. You'll mess up, forget, or slip into old patterns, but that's fine. One user put it best, if it comes up 100 times a day, validate and remind yourself 100 times. Over time, the brat in your head grows up, and your inner coach takes the wheel. Humor, stop taking life so seriously. Let's get one thing straight. Life's already heavy enough without you adding extra weight. If you're constantly treating everything like a high-stakes mission, you're going to burn out. That's where humor comes in. One Redditor nailed it. We take life so seriously, but we don't have to. Humor isn't just a distraction, it's a tool for survival. Laughing at the absurdity of life makes it a hell of a lot easier to handle. Start with something simple. Watch comedy podcasts, stupid YouTube videos, or anything that gets you laughing. One user shared how they fall asleep to comedy because it's better than meditation for shutting off their overthinking. Another recommended reframing even the worst situations with humor. Spilled coffee all over yourself? Congrats. You've just won the award for Monday's biggest cliche. Humor isn't about ignoring reality, it's about reshaping it. When life throws you a curveball, try imagining it as part of a sitcom. That meeting where you totally blanked? Picture laugh tracks and applause when you finally recover. It sounds silly, but it works. And here's the kicker. Humor isn't just for you. When you stop taking life so seriously, your energy shifts and people notice. You become the guy who can lighten the mood even when things go sideways. That's a superpower, and it's yours for the taking. Discipline, the alpha's secret to consistency. Let's get to the backbone of everything, discipline. You can read all the gratitude journals and watch all the comedy podcasts you want, but without discipline, it's just noise. Discipline is what separates the wannabes from the alphas. One Redditor summed it up with brutal honesty, fake it till you make it. This isn't about being fake, it's about forcing yourself to stick to the process until it becomes second nature. You're essentially hacking your own brain, rewiring it to crave the habits that lead to success. Start small. Swap one unhealthy meal for something better. Do 5 minutes of exercise instead of 0. Choose the stairs instead of the elevator. These micro actions might seem insignificant, but they stack up over time. And the best part, they're sustainable. Reflection is your accountability partner here. One user described holding a weekly scrum meeting with themselves. They'd ask questions like, what did I do this week that made me feel good? What didn't work and how can I fix it? It's not about beating yourself up. It's about tweaking the process so you keep improving. But here's the real kicker. Discipline creates freedom. When you're consistent, you no longer waste energy deciding whether to act. You just do it. It's automatic. That's the alpha mindset, owning your actions and your outcomes. Reframing setbacks, turning losses into lessons. Setbacks aren't just part of life. They're the tickets you pay to play the game. The problem is most people treat setbacks like the end of the world. That's where they lose. Alphas, they see setbacks as opportunities to level up. One Reddit user hit the nail on the head. Life is either a tragedy or a comedy. The choice is yours. If you choose the tragedy, you'll wallow, replaying your failures like a bad movie on repeat. But if you choose the comedy, suddenly those mistakes are just plot twists in your success story. Here's how you do it. First, stop taking setbacks personally. They're not proof that you're unworthy, they're proof that you're trying. Celebrate the fact that you're even in the arena. One user described reframing their mistakes by imagining them as part of a sitcom. Spilled coffee, botched meetings, or awkward moments. They're not failures, they're punchlines. Next, shift your focus. One user explained how they create space around their setbacks by removing the emotional weeds. Instead of ruminating on lost opportunities, they focus on their commitment to improvement. Better habits, better decisions, better results. Finally, remember this, every setback is fuel. One user compared it to pulling weeds in a garden. When you clear the negativity, you create room for growth. Failure doesn't define you, how you respond to it does. So stop fearing setbacks. Embrace them, laugh at them, and use them to build the next version of yourself. Self-compassion, the paradox of change. Here's a twist you didn't see coming. Before you can change, you have to accept yourself exactly as you are. Sounds counterproductive, right? But it's true. Self-compassion is the ultimate paradox. When you stop fighting yourself, you free up the energy to grow. One Redditor explained it perfectly. It's okay past me. It's okay to make mistakes. We'll keep looking forward and appreciating the here and now. This isn't about letting yourself off the hook. It's about treating yourself like a human being, not a punching bag. Think about it this way. If an 8-year-old came to you upset about a mistake, would you berate them for hours? Of course not. You'd comfort them, help them learn from it, and move on. So why don't you do the same for yourself? Here's how to practice self-compassion. Acknowledge your mistakes. No excuses, no denial, just own it. Validate your feelings. It's okay to feel hurt, frustrated, or disappointed. You're allowed to have emotions. Reframe your narrative. You're not the person who failed, you're the person who's growing. As one user said, we are masters at making ourselves feel bad. It's time to learn how to make ourselves feel good. Compassion isn't weakness, it's the strength to keep moving forward, even when the road gets rough. When you combine self-compassion with discipline, humor, and gratitude, you create an unstoppable force, a mindset that thrives on progress, not perfection. Conclusion, own your mind, own your life. Here's the deal, your mind is either your greatest weapon or your biggest liability. The difference, how you train it. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of the game because you're taking steps to wrestle control from that overthinking, negativity-fueled machine between your ears. We've covered the tools. Gratitude to shift your perspective, mindfulness to keep you present, self-talk to rewrite the narrative, humor to lighten the load, discipline to keep you consistent, reframing setbacks to turn losses into lessons, self-compassion to fuel your growth. Here's the hard truth, this isn't a one and done fix, it's a daily grind. The same way you hit the gym to train your body, you've got to train your mind. And just like building muscle, the results aren't instant, but over time, the small, consistent efforts stack up. So what's the next step? Stop overthinking it and start doing. Gratitude journal, write it. Negative thought, catch it. Mindfulness, practice it. You've got the tools, now it's up to you to use them. And remember, this isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the sharpest, most unstoppable version of yourself. Own your mind, and the rest will follow.